What is up, guys? This is Kobe here, and today I'm going to give you guys a brief overview of everything that's going to be happening in Prelude of War regarding all the events and guides on how to do them and what you should be doing to cap out your 50,000 determination daily. First things first, alliance skills are now finally available to the game. In order to access them, you have to talk to Grenoble really old, and he will have a quest that is not in blue, because blue quests are basically informational quests that just tell you about the event. And once you accept those two quests, because there will be two of them, you accept one and then there'll be another one available, you will get the warrior skills. And the warrior skills consist of 4 skills. You get the normal monster damage, which is 30% damage to normal monsters, and to avoid confusion, this is just 30% damage overall, so this does apply to bosses as well. You get profession novice, which is acquiring 20% more mastery performing a harvesting or just any profession in general. You also get the teachings of farming residents, which is 600% exp increase when you complete a monster life tutorial quest. So for those of you that do monster life, then whoopee, I guess. And then my favorite one, Alliance's Resolve, which is essentially AFKing in the map for determination. So you can only AFK at the outpost, and with this skill, since we are all at warrior rank right now, and we get guardian when this bar at the top fills up, and we have a green bar filled up in this first slot right here, it will only reward us 3 determination every 10 seconds. So you do have 2 options. You have Victory for the Alliance. It increases, well, like I said, 3 determination every 10 seconds. So if you're AFKing overnight, or whether you're at school or work or anything like that, then you can pop the skill if you don't mind having your computer on. There's also the Strength to help the Alliance, which increases EXP earned. So you get a set amount of EXP every 10 seconds, but the EXP one does cap at 8 hours, and the EXP is trash anyway, so I highly advise you just use the Determination one for it instead. And those are the current available Alliance skills. In a few days, we should be unlocking Guardian, and we will be getting Guardian 1 Alliance skills. We will not be getting these 3 because these 3 unlock at specific points. For example, Goddess's Blessing is a skill that all players get upon reaching Guardian 4. The Goddess's Grace is a skill that all players get upon reaching Hero 4. And Goddess's Protection is a skill that all players get upon reaching Legend 4. So essentially you only have 3 skill points to put in these 3 skills up here, and then this skill will be automatically leveled up as well without the usage of any skill points whatsoever. Now, as you rank up all the way up to Guardian 4, you will be able to max out all of these skills. It's some really good ones, like extra Meso when farming bosses, extra reward points when farming bosses, extra symbols when doing Arcane River dailies, extra rewards when doing Polo and Frito portals, so on and so forth. Extra party quest rewards as well, party quest points, party quest EXP, so on and so forth. And there are additional stats. The overall stats for Guardian is 2000 HP, 40 all stats, 30 critical rates, and 30% boss damage. So it is a nice little temporary boost that you'll have for your character. I also want to point out GMS is a new skill that KMS never had. So the reason why this skill exists is because GMS does not have Hecaton. This was a skill that was meant to be used for Hecaton, but since GMS does not have Hecaton, they removed that skill and replaced it with Mage Trust. This skill, you acquire 1 additional jewel box when you obtain Princess Snow rewards. I've never done Princess Snow in my life, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not, if 1 is like double the amount or whatever, so it's up to y'all to decide whether that's good or not. But that's it for the overview on the skills. Now the shop is available. I recommend not purchasing anything from the shop until December 2nd. Why December 2nd? Because that is the very first 30% sale, and by then we might have Guardian 1 out. And at Guardian 1, you should also be obtaining your Tenebris ring on the character of the world that you choose. 1 character of the world that you play on, because it can only be obtainable on 1 character. So we should be able to buy these rings, these cubes. And then if you're in normal servers, the bonus of cold cubes as well, and this absurd amount of 8-slot coupons in this Alliance Boost Potion. If you're like level 200 to 209, you want to get that instant level to 210, there we go. But there's no guarantee that Guardian 1 will be available by December 2nd or not, although it should be, hell. Anyway, that's essentially it. Just keeping that as a reminder. Don't buy anything from the shop until you get Guardian 1. Now you might be asking, how do you get Guardian 1? I've already briefly explained that, but I didn't explain where you rank up. So, once this bar fills up and you have a green ball that's right here, you talk to Nineheart the Tactician, and he will have a quest that will, say Guardian 1, ranking up to Guardian 1, so on and so forth. And then he gives you the fee. For which Warrior to Guardian 1, the fee for that will be 300 coins. I will have a list of the fees in the description. They are shown in the previous video, but if you still don't know, the list for all the ranks will be in the description. And also, this fee is not affected by the 30% sale, because that 30% sale is only for the shop, so you do have to pay 300 coins full on. Reminder, this is a world bound rank, so you can farm coins on a meal to get this rank. And then once you rank up, you get a box that is also transferable within the world, so you can put that box in the storage and claim it on your main for the rewards. And like I said, the first box will consist of the Tenebris ring. Now we're going to cover the expedition missions for Moonbridge for the first area. The second, third, and fourth will be a part of another video. But for the first area, you have a quest called Expedition Mission Moonbridge, in which you gain 3 missions that you have to do. Currently, there are 4 overall missions, so in this video, I am going to be covering those 4 missions right now. The first available mission is eliminating monsters when the wind changes, also known as when this fog in the map shows up. So when this fog shows up, you are able to fly around in the fog, and anytime you kill monsters in the fog, it counts as a kill for this quest. You need to kill 1,000 mobs for this quest for it to be completed. Once the fog disappears, the monsters will no longer count for this quest. Now, a good tip for this is if you're in a map with fog and the fog goes away, what you can do is you can go to other maps. You can also change channels as well, but you can go to other maps and you could check if they have fog in there as well. When I was surfing earlier, maps tend to have had a lot of fog. So I feel like when you're surfing maps, it's going to be very likely for fog to appear while you're through. See, this is another map with fog in it. So it's really easy to find a different map with fog versus, just staying in your map waiting for the fog to appear again, just to get this quest done the fastest. For the next quest, you have to charge fleet signals. Now you might be wondering, what are the fleet signals? Well, fleet signals are these things right here. It even says it down below, fleet signal. So you have to charge a fleet signal 6 times. Now, in order to charge a fleet signal, you need to have a magic stone. You can have up to 3 magic stones at once. Once you get 3, you cannot get any more. So now you might be wondering how you can use the magic stones to charge up the fleet signals. Well, it just happened out of sheer luck. That just happened out of nowhere. But once these go red, you're able to press space and use up a magic signal on the fleet signal. And because I did that, that counted as 1 magic stone for the fleet signal. And because I did that, that counted as 1 out of 6. Now, in order to get magic stones, you must be attacking monsters when the fog is not here. I'm pretty sure when the fog is not here and you don't have to charge fleet signals, you are able to acquire magic stones. So if you need magic stones, you have to go into maps that have neither one of these going on. So let's say you have 3 fleet signals and you charge it up 3 times and now you're at 3 out of 6. Well, you just stay in the map until you can get 3 more magic stones. And then, once again, the same way as the fog technique works, you can just surf through maps and hope you get a map that needs the fleet signals charged. Which is also just about a little less common than the fog. Not as common, but it's still very likely to find. So, which is why I consider these 2 to be the easiest quest, a part of the Moonbridge dailies. Now, the third quest, this is the second hardest quest of them all at the current moment. You have to charge the fleet signals to level 3 or higher. So what this means is after you charge fleet signals, you get a buff. The overall buff depends on how much all 4 of the fleet signals in the map are charged. The buff that you have to get has to be at least level 3. In order to do that, all 4 fleet signals in the map need to have been charged at least 3 times. And since you can only carry 3 magic stones, that means you must have at least 4 players in the map to be able to get this quest done. So a good way to do that is to just go to channel 1 and enter one of these overpopulated maps here. I'm going to be going to map 3 because it does have 6 people. So in this map, it will already show pre-charged fleet signals. And as you can see, this one has already been charged with 5. This one has been charged with 5. This one up here has been charged with 5. And the one down here has been charged with 5. So they've all been charged with 5. So meaning that when they charge the fleet signals, they got a level 5 buff. Now, when you enter a map, it does show you a notice of when you could charge the fleet signals. So down here, it says you could charge the fleet signals in 6 minutes. You need to make sure that there's at least 4 members in the map when this happens. Otherwise, you will not be able to get this quest done. All 4 people need to be at 1 different fleet signal and use 3 magic stones to be able to charge it up 3 times. And then once you do that, you get the level 3 buff, and then you get that done. Now, a way to speed up the progression for this quest is once you finish charging up the fleet signals and you get the buff, you can leave the map and go to a different map to wait for the fleet signal charge, or get the fleet signal charge a little faster. Now, you don't need to charge the fleet signals on your own to have this quest be effective. You don't at all. It just depends on everyone in the map in general, and it just depends on the charges that the fleet signals have by the other players. But of course, contributing always helps, and if you can contribute and you have magic stones, you might as well go ahead and do it, because you can't collect any more than 3 magic stones to begin with. Now you see this map has a level 4 buff because they didn't get the stones to level 5. The buff you get will always depend on which fleet signal has the lowest amount of charges. So if these all have 5 and the one at the top have 4, then that means that the buff will be level 4. But once again, you only need it at level 3. Now the final mission, aka the hardest mission yet, which luckily is one that I don't have, is defeating 200 suits or sock glares, whatever y'all call them. They're basically the star mobs that replace the other mobs that spawn within the map. Now the reason why this is so hard is because you have to wait up to 30 minutes if possible for these to even spawn to begin with. So you could take a look at the flying mob in the map, which is coming after you right now after all this lag is over, and that's what all the mobs are going to be ending up looking like. All these mobs in the current map will die out, and then the sock glares will eventually spawn. You have 2 to 3 minutes to be able to kill 200 of them, and if you don't, then that's tough luck. But you should be able to do it all in one wave. Now, suggestions for this is to just stay in one map. Just stay in one map throughout the whole entire point, because you never know which map is going to end up getting the mobs first. Unless, you know, you're kind of doing it with a buddy and a buddy goes to a different map, and then if they spawn in, you know, a different map, then your buddy can tell you, hey, the glare spawned in my map, so you should be coming to my map, and so on and so forth. Now, if you do end up not getting 200 kills when the glares despawn, that's when you can switch maps. That's when it's most comfortable switching maps, because of course the cooldown on that has reset, and you probably have to wait another half an hour again. Now this timer right here, in case y'all were wondering, this one right here that says 30 minutes, that just depends on how much EXP you can get from the mobs. Once that timer goes to 0, you will not be kicked out, you will just no longer gain EXP. And that's okay, because you really shouldn't be here for EXP anyway. Although with level 5 fleet signal buff, the EXP gets super good. I'm just letting y'all know. And that's it for the Moonbridge dailies. Once again, I'll be covering the new request in the next video once we get Guardian 1 on GMS. If you do have any questions about that, please let me know. But before I end this video, let me go into the other events, the last 2. So we got 2 more defense missions. First one is Help from Above. It's a mini game that you could play by yourself or with up to 4 people. I would highly recommend you do this with up to 4 people. Though I really hate this mini game. Like, I really do, because it's really annoying. And you don't get a lot of determination from it at all. So if you are trying to cap out, I would highly recommend just farming. But if you do want to do this, then by all means, go ahead. But once you start Help from Above, I gotta do this in a party. It's a really simple mini game actually. The main idea of it is to collect rewards from the bottom down here until your weight caps out. That means you can no longer collect rewards, or unless you collect all of them from the top, and you just don't get hit. I don't think killing monsters gets you any points, though I can go ahead and double check that real quick after I turn these in. But if I were to kill mobs, you do end up losing points. Keep that in mind. But let's say I just go ahead and try to attack this one real quick. I do not gain any points. You just get them out of your way. So the main idea is to just avoid monsters, collect as many packages as you can, just either everything else on the floor or just until you're at maximum weight for everything you can collect. And then once you have that done, you just go to the top and you turn them all in. If you get hit, you lose points, so don't get hit. And that's essentially it. So you do this for 5 minutes. 5 minutes straight, and you only get about 1k determination from it. You cap out at 10k from this, but I highly recommend you don't do this capping out. You probably get more determination as you do this more, because you eventually level up from this mission somehow. But like I said, I think it'd be better off just doing the farming mission, and I will show you guys why right now. So I left with 2400 flying points. That means I get 240 determination. That's like nothing, especially when it caps at 50,000, clearly. So next mission is called Save the Soldiers. So y'all remember Scattered Determination? Well, yeah, this is essentially another hunting daily, but it's a lot worse. It's definitely a lot worse. So we've got the signal flare. Have it on number 4. I'm gonna pop it real quick. So we have 10 minutes to rescue 20 soldiers. And by the way, that is really loud. Excuse my sound. Let me turn that down real quick. But you have about 10 minutes to capture 20 soldiers that are being held captive by mobs, I believe. And as you can see, it is taking me a while to locate the first soldier that's supposed to spawn. There it is right there. Once that's there, I believe you have to do an overall 10,000 damage. Yes, 10,000 damage to capture one soldier. And after you capture a soldier, you gain 100 determination. And it does take roughly 9 to 10 minutes to capture 20. So every 10 minutes, you get about 2,000 determination. Or if you have spawn enhancers like Kitchen and Frenzy, it might take less. For me, it took me, I got roughly 10 to 12k an hour from doing this on KMS. But with spawn enhancers, it can be a little faster, like 15 to 20k. Even, yeah, 20k if you're really fast with it. But it'll be in that range if you're farming like in-game. And that's essentially it. That's how this event works. You just kill monsters, and then whenever you see a soldier that needs help and that's being held captive, you just go ahead and deal 10,000 damage to the chains that they're attached to, and that's it. Just like the Ember, it does have a 5-minute cooldown, and when you leave the map, you do have to wait those 5 minutes to be able to spawn it again, and I just left the map, so that's not good. But I wasn't going to go back to hunting anyway. So, in general, you might be wondering, what is the fastest possible way to get 50k determination? Well, let me tell you right now. You get your 30k from the Moonbridge missions, and you get your last 20k from the soldier rescuing. Overall, that should take the average player about 2.5 to 3 hours. Faster players who farm very frequently and have Kitchen or Frenzy can probably get it done within 1.5 to 2 hours. And that's essentially the fastest way. Yes, the fastest way can take up to 2 hours to cap out on one single character. But not to mention AFKing is also an option as well, whether you want to do that. Like I said, whether you're at school, whether you're at work, whether you're sleeping, it does help out really well. At Guardian 1, we will be able to get 4 determination per 10 seconds. So right now, in 8 hours, you can get 8,640 determination with Warrior rank. So at Guardian 1, you'll be able to get, let me do the math real quick. 11,520 determination in 8 hours. So that's roughly about 34.5k within 24 hours of AFKing. So AFKing is a really good alternative option if you do not want to do the soldier rescuing, but I highly advise you run up those Tenebrous missions every day, even though they're a pain in the ass. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you learned a thing or two about it. Once again, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I will get back to you a lot better than I did in my previous video. And I'll catch you guys later.